Hi, my name is Sarah Rice, and aside from the few variations and arrangements I've been assigned to compose in undergrad, this was really my first ever composition, and I was not expecting to have experienced so much difficulty being given total freedom, but I've composed a quite simple melody or piece for either elementary or middle school string orchestra, and the piece is titled Resting Place, in lieu of its sort of lighthearted and refreshing um, tone. Um, the piece generally has the tone of most typical beginning orchestra sounds, which I was trying to avoid, but I couldn't seem to get that sound out of my head, that kind of pleasant, fresh air, simple melody type of vibe. So I composed one main theme, which sort of repeats 3 different times with slight variations in each repetition, and I will demonstrate a couple of the themes. So here is the first melody, which is played by the first violin and then passed off to the second violin or the viola. Here's how it goes. And then that's given to the viola, and then the cello comes in with sort of a slightly different melody, which sounds like this. Let me just find it. So those are the two main themes. This piece, as you heard, is in major tonality and in G major specifically, and it's written in triple meter. I did this on purpose because it's rather difficult to find repertoire for beginners that's not in duple meter, so I specifically composed in triple meter for that reason. Also, in beginning and middle school even levels, cellists and violists, or any really lower strings, are really given typically very boring bass lines consisting of like 3 to 5 notes. And I think that this kind of stunts their motivation and enjoyment of playing. So I tried to challenge them a little bit more in this piece, giving them melody at times, or at least some notes beyond the 3 note limit for harmony or bass lines. So I composed this piece with them in mind. In my writing, I generally tried to keep the instrumental lines somewhat melodic in some ways, trying not to skip around too much and maintain a tonal center instead. So okay. So this past year, I've been really listening to choral music primarily. Despite my being a string player, I will typically choose choral music over string literature to listen to. And I think that this style is reflected in my composition, as the lines are very lyrical, and there's occasional dissonance and resolution in areas as well. Okay. So my process for composing this piece was definitely a process I would try to refine in the future. At first, my first step was I just picked up my violin and started playing just anything and attempted to improvise a melody, and then I noticed I was finding myself just kind of repeating melodies that I've heard in other songs, and I could not get out of that rut. I kept defaulting to melodies that I had already heard before. So then I turned on the classical radio station and trying to get some ideas, and I heard a Baroque piece, so then I tried to compose in a Baroque style, which was fine, but I thought that the level of writing harmony would be a little bit too advanced for my beginning composition. So then I just started to kind of simply sing throughout the day, singing melodies in my car, and I finally came up with a short melody that I notated, and then developed a bit more at the piano. I realized though that my lack of piano skills really kind of hindered my ability to harmonize and create more complex chords than your traditional 1-4-5. But I also discovered that when I played the lines on the piano and was composing harmonies, they sounded pleasing to my ear, and then when I listened to them on Noteflight, the sound production feature was just horrifying and cringeworthy. So I ended up scratching a lot of what I had written, and you know, revising a lot. So I thank you for watching this, and I hope you enjoy my composition. Bye.